He doesn't waste any time, man.
You know, let somebody, Mr. Squirrel, get it.
Exactly. Oh. All right, we should be streaming through. Awesome. So we are live. Hello, everyone.
You're
Happy
live?
Thursday. Yep. Wash down your sandwich. Hey, are you drinking? What are you drinking? A strawberry fizz?
No, no.
You're not.
It looks like strawberry because it's
blood orange.
it is blood orange mixed with mind help.
How did I know?
You didn't know.
Whatever. Suit yourself. I'll drink my strawberry. All right. So, man, look at this. I'm in shorts and a tank.
What a beautiful day it is, isn't it?
Right? How is it up there?
It's hot enough outside that I could take my sweatshirt off. It hasn't worn. I haven't opened up the doors to let the heat inside yet, so I'm still wearing pants and a sweatshirt. But
that's okay. That's good.
Josh is wearing shorts and a t-shirt today.
Oh, I bet he is. That's good. Oh my gosh. All right. So we've got hello, Brady, John, Jason, Michael, Cole, Aquatic Sausage, Richard, Aunt Jemima. Hi,
Aunt Jemima?
Yeah.
That's Rich's favorite maple syrup. I'm not a fan of Aunt Jemima. I really prefer real maple syrup.
Of course. We've got Corey, Jerry, Nate, Kyle, Jim, Prometheus, Isaac. Hello, everyone. So Aunt Jemima, yeah. I mean, I feel like because aren't there people on your farm that make homemade maple syrup?
Well, Charlie Davis, my first car owner, does maple syrup, and Skip Seymour's son-in-law, Guy Gillette, he does maple syrup. When I worked for Enders,
let me guess,
maple
they
syrup,
did maple syrup. Jeez,
as well as build engines, and I actually went out and tapped some of the trees with him one time.
See, exactly. Like, it
was fun.
That just shows, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, to connect us together, but when I go shopping, I always tend to get the things that my mom always bought, right? Like, I was raised with. So, of course, you're not, like, gonna go with the store-bought maple syrup, but people want to know why you're not outside, Mike.
I should be, but I had a hard enough time getting the mouse to work.
It works, yeah.
Because it's wireless and it has to be charged.
Yeah. And I have a laptop, so.
I was not originally a Mac guy. I always had Windows computers since Windows 95. When Monster Truck Madness came out.
Oh my gosh.
But, yeah, I don't know. I got it figured out, so I don't want to move it.
I'd much rather you not take my desktop outside.
Yeah, Mandy took the laptop, so I have to get my own laptop here.
You're stuck. Just what we
I'd
need.
I'd like to get a laptop for the shop that is not like that I can hook up to the internet. That's not the Shock Dino laptop, because I don't want to like hook that up to the internet and get a virus on it and ruin all my
You need like a racing computer.
Right.
Yeah. We can do that. I think we can do that. So apparently Aunt Jemima is taking offense. Aunt Jemima, I use Aunt Jemima in case anyone's wondering. So, you know, to each your own. So what's going on in New York, honey?
That's terrible. Well, it's a lot. There's a lot of people out today because it's beautiful out. So everybody's out and about. I think there's a lot of customers over at Adirondack Auto and at Napa and everything. So it's kind of cool that people are out and doing things. We're getting close to that May 15th deadline where they're like opening up businesses again. Some businesses were already open, obviously, but tomorrow, like, everybody's officially like allowed to open and do things more normally, somewhat. So that's pretty cool, especially with nice weather.
Well, Jersey, we got pushed back until like June something.
Really? Well, so regionally, it's different for different regions. We're in a region where there's not that many people.
Yeah.
So here you're good. But there's also limitations from what I hear. Like you still are supposed to distance and
Of course. Yeah.
whatever. But
wait, are you getting the questions or am I doing this?
I am receiving some questions, but
Good.
go right ahead if you got one.
Cole asked if you've ever been hunting.
It depends. I've never gone and sat in a tree stand to hunt deer, but I have shot some varmint, like woodchucks and stuff like that on the farm, birds, just to like keep them from ruining the fields and the buildings. And the problem with like animals around the farm, they just destroy everything.
Yeah.
So, but I've never done like that type of hunting where you hunt for like, a deer where you're going to cut it up and have it for dinner.
I have friends that do that, and usually when they bring the deer home to cut it up, I leave. I can't do it. Oh my gosh. Let's see. John asked, does Mike rebuild or reshaft broken shocks or just replace them?
I do it all. Have a shock dyno, I test them, and I rebuild them, revalve them, repair them. So if you got bent shocks or shocks that need different like tuning to them to adjust the car, I work with my customers, kind of just ask them like what track they race at, what's their driving style, this and that, or maybe they give me their package and say, hey, this package was okay, but it's a little bit tight or a little loose. I want a little more drive off, and I can tweak it a little bit and try to make it a little better. I really enjoy working with the customers, trying to help them out. So I do brands. The shock brands I do are Bilstein, Integra, Fox, and Penske. So if you have those brand of shocks, I can do them as long as you're allowed to run Schrader valves. If they're like a strictly sealed set shock, I cannot do them.
Good point. Oh, what I was thinking. So I texted Mike this morning. I told you guys yesterday how competitive my brother is. Yeah. $10 says when he comes on tomorrow, he's going to tell you, because we ran this morning. He's going to tell you that he beat me, but I'm pretty sure it was pretty equal. So just so you know, don't let him fool you, because halfway through, he's like, we can stop and take a break if you need. And I looked at him like, is this one of those, do you want me to feel like I'm taking a step, or do you need to take a step? Oh, but it is nice. There's just something about the warmer weather that just makes you want to get outside and exercise and do stuff. It makes you just feel better. I love it. Oh my god.
I'm really laughing here because Aunt Jemima said none taken. Like as if it was like, no offense, Aunt Jemima. None taken. Oh, I love it.
Shanester asks, are 3058 modifieds able to enter any big block race, including series races? That's a you.
Sort of. See, there's a like asterisk next to that, because they can, but most of the time, if it's a big block series race, they add a bunch of weight. I mean, a bunch, because typically if the track gets really slippery, a 358 at its 150 pound, they're 150 pounds lighter than a big block. So at that weight, you're gonna be way faster than a big block when it gets slippery. To try to keep the big blocks competitive at a big block series race, they add a bunch of weight to them. They might make them weigh more than a big block, which means you might have to add 200 pounds to your small block car. People end up wondering, how am I going to get 200 pounds on this car? Not too many people do it, honestly. So that is a challenge between the two series there.
Agreed. If you know this, I'm not sure. What's MAG? Jake asked if they run, are you gonna watch the MAG tonight? Do you know what that is?
I'd love to know. Tell me what the MAG is. I know you're not talking about magnetos.
Not me. Any word? Ray asked, any word on going to North Carolina? Not yet. Not yet.
A word?
Any word if I'm going to North Carolina?
Well, we're gonna hear from Billy, who's going to North Carolina tomorrow. So make sure you tune in and hear from
all
him
the questions.
His plans on going to the short track Super Series races down there.
Mm-hmm. He says that there's a few people in the works of trying to get stuff open kind of around here, but I mean not here, but like in the Northeast at least. That way it's not like a 12 to 24-hour drive. But he said Magnolia. Oh, there's a track called Magnolia Speedway. Huh. Did you know? Pardon?
I did not know that. What state is it in?
He says Magnolia Motor Speedway. So.
Yeah, I'm asking him. He'll respond.
I know. I'm asking for you. Gosh.
So there's late models on dirt and flow racing. Magnolia Aquatic says flow racing is going to put on the Magnolia Speedway race.
Probably. Why not?
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what'd they say? It was tonight or tomorrow?
I think Jake said it's tonight.
Great.
If they run, are you gonna watch the MAG tonight? Yes.
Absolutely. I have the account.
In Mississippi. I want to go to Mississippi.
I'll put it on.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite thing, if you guys don't know, if you don't have a smart TV, all you need is a Google Chromecast plugin, and it just plugs into your HDMI port of your TV, and you download the Google Chromecast app on your phone, and there's a little button to cast it, and literally anything you're watching, as long as some things like DirecTV, for example, has a restriction, so you can't cast it onto your TV from your phone. But most things, like you pull up one of these races or whatever, and you can cast it up on your TV from your phone without having to plug it into your computer and whatnot. So that's a pretty cool deal if you're looking for a way to watch these races on the big screen. Jerry Davis says, Mike, that seems wrong. Most places that run open engines and crates, the less horsepower get a weight break. If the track conditions come to the crate, then so be it. I understand that it seems wrong, but what we were talking about there was a big block series race, and they want you to bring your big block motor. If they make it so that the small blocks are lighter, they will have the advantage when it gets slippery, and no one will bring a big block. It might as well change it to the small block Super Series at that point, because
it's not fair.
Do it because it depends on where you are in the country too. Like, if we were having a series race in New Egypt, I don't think a lot of people would bring small blocks. They'd want a big block there, which is funny because they run small blocks weekly, but there's enough grip that even in the feature, you're going to want that big block for the power and whatnot. But in New York State, most of the tracks slick off enough that the big block torque and horsepower isn't even necessary in the feature. But if there ever is a time when there's grip, the big block's pretty cool. So,
I mean, from the promoter standpoint, is you're promoting big blocks coming to town, and a small block wins. I mean, it's great for the small block driver, but the idea is it's big block racing. And then those that have a big block and follow the entire tour and get their butts kicked by a small block, and they can't technically run a small block, it's not fair.
Right, so. Exactly. So that's the other thing that people don't know, is that if you're running the tour for points, you're not actually allowed to run the small block. Only the track regulars can run their small blocks, and they'll smoke us because we're not allowed to run a small block, and they can.
People
So
don't decide.
that always makes it really controversial. It's a tricky thing. I mean, it's tough because not everybody has a big block either, but it is the big block series. So
Taze Racing. Is it worth getting a 602 modified?
There's a ton of people running 602s. That is the most populated class in the Northeast. There's some tracks getting 70 602s on a regular Saturday night competing to race. And like Fulton Speedway has to do 2 feature events to split them up so they can all race. So I would think so. I can tell you from my perspective, I would not get one. I never really enjoyed the 602 class. I feel like the engines are too limited. I'd rather be in a class where there's, at least 600 horse or so. So to me, I would recommend the 358 class.
Ray asks, when you watch racing at home, do you try to make it like being at the races with food and drinks? What kinds of food and drink? I'm pretty sure when we watched Knoxville last week, didn't we? We got food delivered and we had wine and ice cream. So it's pretty accurate. Sounds pretty accurate. I don't think we really theme it, but if anything, I just have cheese fries, so and ice cream. But Speed, come here. No, this is what we get for having to be outside. So sorry, but I missed.
Eat it.
Nope. What did I miss? Okay. Babe, Jerry said, so the race from last year where someone was deciding whether to run 358 or the big block wasn't a series race.
Okay.
What race would they be talking about?
Jerry, what track? What was the sanction? What were the rules?
Yeah.
Those are the questions you have to ask on what.
Well, when we were
deciding to bring
in Ohio at Eldora, wasn't that a conflict?
What happened in Eldora was they had one test. They had a spec big block with an aluminum block that was being tested, and to test it, they were racing it with us. And basically, everyone with their normal steel blocks felt that aluminum block was a huge advantage when the track gets slippery, because the engine's lighter and the overall car is lighter. But that engine still has quite a bit of torque because it is a big block still. So basically everyone at the drivers meeting said, we don't want this. This is unfair. All our big steel big blocks are gonna be boat anchors if you let this continue. And we're all gonna have to get these other ones. Nobody wants that because that would cost us a fortune.
Oh, I think I might know what video he's talking about. Jerry said that it was based on a video we had last year. That might be the big block versus small block race, but that wasn't like you could bring both. At Devil's Bowl, that might be the one they're thinking of.
Oh, so Devil's Bowl was an interesting one.
Yeah.
That wasn't a sanctioned race, so this is the difference too. Devil's Bowl put on a race of their own. The track made the rules that they would have 2 qualifying races, one small block race and one big block race, and they each had a purse. And then you got qualified through that into the finale race, and you then would choose whether you wanted to run your big block or your small block. That particular day, for qualifying, the track was really slippery and dusty. So the small blocks were actually better. But then at night, when we got to the final feature, the moisture came up through the track and the track had a ton of bite and the big blocks became better at the end. So that's just total opposite of what we typically see at most races, where the track gets slippery later on and your big block's not as good.
I don't think Jason said is the race at Chatham Speedway in Louisiana. That's not short track sanctioned, or did Deo sanction it? He's not running there.
The race in Louisiana is sanctioned by the super modified series that they have down in Texas or something.
But they're following Deo's rules.
They're using Deo's rules so that everybody can stay in a consistent rule package, but they are allowing Hoosier tires as well. Nobody's going to want to run them because American racers are faster, but just to let everybody run, they're doing that. Gotcha. Now, they have their own sanctioning body, and it's not a short track super series race. So,
Mike asked, if you had to add weight to your car, where and how do you do it?
Okay, so the rules for a dirt car are the any lead needs to be placed between the 2x4 frame rails, cannot be put outside of them. So people back in the day used to fill their Nerf bars full of lead or their hoops or whatever. That's not allowed. You can't hang on the hoops or anything. It's got to be bolted with at least 2 half-inch bolts. The lead's got to be painted white, and you got to put your number on it so that if it falls off, that somebody could know that it was yours.
Shame on you.
Yeah, it's really important that you put that lead on there and bolt it securely, because if that falls off, it could really hurt someone. If it came through their rock screen or hit them in the head or something, I mean, that'd be really bad. So typically, like heavier pieces, you try not to have pieces any heavier than like 30-40 pounds, because at that point you got to have some really strong tabs welded to the frame to hold it. So again, adding 200 pounds can be tough because like there's only so many places to bolt lead, and most people put it like up in front of the radiator. There's always like a couple tabs that come on the chassis. There's a couple tabs underneath the fuel cell. There's a bar that people bolt across the rear shock towers, and you can put some ballast clamps on it and put some weight behind the seat. Sometimes people bolt lead right in the seat, or the tranny cover usually has some holes to put lead on that in between your legs. Some people mount it to the motor plate, or there's tabs inside the engine compartment. I mean, just the options are endless, obviously, but and it's just I don't know. It gets to be a lot of work when you got to add a lot of weight. If you only got to put 80 pounds on, it's not so bad. But.
Oh, I was gonna ask, when are you planning on going to get your body from Pilots?
I don't know. I'd really love to go get it this weekend if I have time, but not sure I will. So we will see. We got that to pick up. We got headers at BAs to pick up.
Road trip.
We got the fuel cells on the way for Jenny. So once we go and get all that stuff, we could really complete some cars here and be ready to go. So I'm kind of excited.
Jenny update. It's been a while.
Yeah. So Jake asked, Mike, do you do shocks for all classes, late model, big block, 410, etc.? Yes, I do. Again, your spec class, like the street stocks and stuff, a lot of them don't allow Schrader valves, so I can't do those. But if the class allows the Schrader valves, I do them, whether it's late models or sprint cars or modifieds. So I've got a lot of customers. Some put my stickers on their car and like advertise that I do their shocks, and some don't. It really doesn't matter to me. I really enjoy having customers to root for, and like other divisions and stuff. I watch them, and it's fun to see them, be successful after tuning their shocks and helping them out.
Brian asked, how do you choose your car number? You buy it from the sanctioning body. Now, and you might know, but I'm pretty sure when Billy raced the asphalt modifieds, because it was like NASCAR sanctioned, you couldn't have the same number. Like there couldn't be more than one number.
Okay.
But it's like free for all, I think, for us, as long as it's not exactly the same. Like there could be a 35, there could be a 35M, there could be a 35P, there could be a 35Y.
Yeah, you can always just add a letter. Usually everybody with a 1 has to add a letter because there's so many guys wanting to run the number 1.
Yeah.
Like what letter does your dad usually add? Like P? Or
P.
does he, since he's Billy Pouch, he doesn't have to add a letter, so everybody else does.
No, he usually has to add a letter. There will be like another 1P there, and he'll just do 1PP. We've had that before.
Do BP1.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could. Jim says it's 60 degrees in King Ferry, but no sunshine.
Awesome. No sunshine? Well, we got sunshine here.
So crazy. Just within like a 4 to 5 hour radius of the three of us, and the weather's completely different. At least it's not snowing and raining. I'm happy. Oh, wait, I got Dad hooked on. Oh my gosh. So, stay tuned. I'll keep you guys in the loop, but I officially have my dad hooked on Netflix, and I got him hooked on The Ranch last night, and the first episode, he kind of looks at me, he's like, Mandy, what are you making me watch? And then he realized that there's no commercials. I started it at 9, he went until 12:30. So I can only imagine how many episodes he's in now. He's
of
like,
the ranch?
Of The Ranch. He's like, it's great, it's brilliant, and there's no commercials. I'm like, I don't know what I just opened up, but it's a whole new world.
I would have to, that was a good call, because I would have to believe that the father's humor on there, it just goes right along with it.
Him. Oh yeah. By the second episode, he was chuckling, so I was like, okay, I picked a good one.
Got that like dry
sense of humor.
It's really funny.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I thought that was amusing. What do we miss? Mike, what is your company name? It's pretty creative.
Mike Mahaney Racing Shocks.
Boo.
I've been thinking about, be kind of neat. I got that website. We sell t-shirts and stuff on there. Not only should we add the stickers, but we should also add like ways for people to just click and order shocks.
We could probably do that. I don't know why we haven't.
Yeah.
I don't know why your PR person hasn't.
The only reason we probably haven't is because I'm busy enough as it is. I know. Yeah. Don't really need to go looking for business.
I wasn't gonna say it. So the work shoe's still working. I'm just impressed he's on here commenting. Tell us what you're doing, Jim. Oh, so yesterday, my dad, my nephew, and I went to go get ice cream. It was closed. And then went to my grandmother's farm, so like the Pouch farm. And mind you, my grandfather, Leroy, like handmade, I mean, I'm sure there was machinery, but I was told it was handmade. This huge pond that my dad and uncle used to go swimming in. And for as long as I've always known, there's always been snapping turtles in there. And I've seen some pretty big ones. Well, there was one yesterday, bigger than my nephew. The head was like this big. Wow. Like, that's ancient. I told Dad, I'm like, that turtle's got to be as old as you, because I don't know how fast turtles grow, but I was like, okay, I'm out. I do not want to go in that water. Do not want to go near that water. Negative.
Here's a good one. Ray asked, are Driveshaft loops mandatory? They are. There's 4 things we're required to run dirt modified. 2 like 2-inch wide loops around the front and back of the drive shaft, a steel plate that goes up and over the transmission and the front half of the drive shaft, and then a steel plate that goes underneath the seat. So if the drive shaft did come up and hit the seat, it wouldn't go through the aluminum seat and hit you. So I like those rules. Those are great. They didn't used to have to do that, and it ended badly for a few people. So glad they have those.
So your mother's deceiving us. It's actually her on your father's login.
Oh, I see. See, so we got Mom is actually Jim Workshoe on YouTube.
I was giving him
on
credit.
Facebook, Kathy Mahaney is actually Jim Mahaney. It's really confusing. You don't know what you're gonna get there.
You don't know who it is. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Wayne asked, "What is your favorite?" Or well, for me, what is your favorite video that you ever produced?
Oh.
I mean,
I can tell you what my favorite was, and then you go. Okay.
Okay.
My favorite one Mandy did was when we played the game we had Crazy Train playing in the headset, and you're trying to guess what the other person was saying. That thing was hilarious.
We should really
I want to do that again.
Yeah. That was rough. Hey, Nick. I personally like obviously the ones when we win, but I like when it's just there's a story behind it. Like we were running late, I don't know, broke down the toter, and then we got to the track and we won, or like we overcame stuff. So I can't really pinpoint them down, but I always like the ones with the story. Like, okay, I mean, granted, we go to Albany, it's a normal night, we get 5th. Like, Mike's like, yeah, we got 5th, and I'm like, yeah, but there was nothing fun for the video.
She wants it to be a struggle. I love it. She just wants it to be hard for me. I wonder if she's secretly sabotaging things in the background just to make the videos more exciting.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. But anything with a good story, because I feel like it helps you guys get a better connection and understanding of all the stuff that we go through. Otherwise, I mean, getting 5th, top 10, whatever, normal, great, no problem. That's a great night, but I like the stories of that stuff. So
Mandy, Wayne Taylor said, Mandy, go get some footage with One Lonely Farmer. Like, don't you think you should collab with him sometime? That'd be great for your channel.
I could text him. He's only like 2 miles down the road.
Yeah, you're there. Do it. That'd be great.
Oh man, I'll have to see. I think he's home. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he was in like Tennessee or something for a month. But yeah, all right. I'll text him, see what he's doing. But otherwise, is there anything you'd like to end on, darling?
Steve asked, what actual brand of shocks do you use? I use Bilstein and Integra. I used to use Fox a little bit, but not as much anymore. I rebuild Bilstein, Integra, Fox, and Penske. I use different brands for different surfaces. Like I like this shock better when it's rough, or this one better when it's slick, because it's easier to or just on this corner of the car, because it's easier to build the valving that I want. So
you like your options.
I like options.
Yeah,
I do. Larry asked Mike, what is the weight of 1 gallon of VP racing fuel? I believe it's just under 7 pounds per gallon.
Well, considering there was silence, I did mute myself.
There goes the backhoe.
Anyways, okay, so we've hit our mark. Love you guys, but I had to go make lunch for everyone. So duty calls when you don't take that wrong. When you're visiting Jersey. Sorry. Oh my God. I still love you, Mike. I'll be home, I promise. The Surprise, I'm not coming back. I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so thank you all for joining in. It's been great. It's been fun. We'll be back here tomorrow. And I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99.9% positive, we will have a Billy on with us. So
Okay.
yeah. So thank you guys. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Do your part, and get back tomorrow.
All right. See ya.
See you guys.